Father, sir, I am done.
Okay. Got it. আচ্ছা, এক মিনিট, আর 2 মিনিট একটু জয়েন করুক ওরা।
আপনি স্টার্ট করতে পারেন।
হ্যাঁ, 2 মিনিট ওদের সময় দেওয়া হয়, বাকিরা একটু জয়েন করুক, তারপরে আমরা শুরু করছি।
ওকে স্যার।
ওকে।
ক্লাস হচ্ছে, ক্লাস হচ্ছে অনলাইনে।
ওকে,
তখন শুরু করব কি স্যার?
হ্যাঁ, জাস্ট ওকে আপনি একটু ইন্ট্রোডিউস করে দিন।
আচ্ছা, আমি
আচ্ছা।
এক মিনিট আমি 1 মিনিট আসছি স্যার, 1 মিনিট আমি আনমিউট করে।
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে, আমি একটু 2 মিনিট আমি একটু বলে নিচ্ছি। Orithro, do you want to say something?
Sir, I have a question, sir. I am
ভুল করে হাত পড়ে গেছে।
আচ্ছা, thank you.
Sir, I have a question, sir. May I ask, sir?
ঠিক আছে, okay.
Okay, sir. Actually, I did not attend so many classes and fast.
Okay. Today you will listen to this class. After that, I will discuss you. Okay. I will discuss.
Sorry, sir.
Not only you, some other students also. So we'll discuss this.
Okay.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Yes.
Welcome to all the students who are present now, who have connected. Now I want to. This is the module number 5. I'm sorry, module number 4. In the first class of the module 4, and this is consists of 3 classes. 2 classes will be taken by consecutive classes. There is Professor Manua Banerjee, and the last class will be taken by Dr. Kamalakanto Rai. And on the last class, he will be taking the test also. Hello, please mute. Achha, one thing I'm telling you, today there is a beautiful lesson she'll be speaking today. That is the harmony in nature. How the nature we have to interact, and how can harmony can be maintained. That thing very interesting lesson today. I request all the students to listen properly. Not only that, I told several times that you have been connected, but you are not listening. You are doing something. So even you are talking with others, that we are listening. Okay. So you must have some. You will and you will discuss and listen properly. Okay. So, madam, you can start now.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. I will request everyone to please mute. Please mute your
Yes, someone is speaking, still speaking. She's laughing.
Please mute your microphone. Okay. I will share the screen. Right. So is the screen visible to all?
Yes, now. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let me go into this full screen mode. So to go to this full screen mode, I cannot see this icon over here. Anyway, so if this is visible, then I can continue.
Visible.
Okay. So today we will discuss harmony in nature. Okay. In this module 4, you have 3 lectures. out of which I will be taking 2, as Sadish sir has just mentioned. So the first part will be understanding harmony in nature, and the second part will be understanding existence and coexistence, which we will do the next day. Okay. So today's is this portion, that is understanding the harmony in nature, interconnectedness, and the mutual fulfillment of among the 4 orders of nature. So basically, we will try and understand what is nature. Okay. Before that, before we proceed, let us first deal with some of the questions. Okay, let us address some questions. So what are these questions? The first question is, what do we understand by human value and ethics? So obviously, by now, you have already been enlightened with this topic. Please mute. Please mute. Sir, centrally ki mute kore dewa jay?
Centrally করা যায় বলে সেটা কিভাবে করে কারণ এটা every day we are facing such problem. I told every day they are very casual.
I can go to this. Yes.
Negative.
Somebody is waiting to be admitted. Somebody is waiting to be admitted, sir. So please let, yes. Okay. So once again, so what is this human values and ethics all about? So by now, you must have been enlightened with this topic, and the question is, we need to ask is, around what does this word human value and ethics center? Okay. So who decides on what are values? Who decides on what are ethics? The simplest answer is, it is we. It is me, it is myself, or it is yourself. So it is actually, I am the center of, that is you yourself. You are the center who decides on the values and the ethics. But how do we reach this realization? It is a realization which is imbibed in us and is inculcated in us by our interaction with nature. So we need to understand nature. So this is the first and foremost reason why we need to understand nature. What are the other, some of the other questions? When do we really begin to learn? That is, when we were born with all our senses. And that is the moment when the interaction with me, with myself, and my outside surroundings start. So how do we evolve? We take in what is delivered to us. Of course, it is again depends upon how things are delivered to us, then how we accept this, how we imbibe or inculcate the change that brings about this knowledge that has been transferred to me. How do I accept? And in this process, we learn. Okay. So what do we have in the center? We have ourself. That is me, myself, or you, yourself. And just outside our being, we have our immediate members of our family. My father, my mother, person who looks after me, the immediate family. So what we do in a day-to-day basis is an interaction with myself and my family members. Again, we go a little beyond this family. We go on to our extended family, where we have our grandparents, etc. Then we have our friends.
ঘেম দে পরে পরে যাবে তো
The screen can be seen?
You know, screen has not, now it is not seen.
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. Okay, now it can be seen?
No. Now it's seen.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
let's
Yes,
get back
ma'am.
again. So we have ourselves. We interact with the family. Family interacts with the society interacts amongst themselves, and then with the whole globe or the world. Okay, so these are the different levels of interaction. Next, what are some of the other questions? Why do we really interact, or why do we really need to interact? Okay, so the questions that will arise is, what do I really want? Only then I will interact. Of course, if you don't understand a lesson and you want to understand that, you will go to your teacher. Otherwise, why should you go to your teacher? Right? So these are some of the basic questions. If I am hungry, then only I will go to the source of food. If I am not hungry, I will not go to the source of food. So what do I really want? This is one question. Second question or another question is, who am I? Another one is, what do I want to achieve? What do I need to explore to achieve certain things that I want? But do I have the potential to achieve? Do I have that ability in me to achieve whatever I am dreaming of or whatever I think I need? And if I am not able to achieve, then what do I lack? What are my shortcomings? So these are some of the questions that every day we face unconsciously, sometimes consciously. Whenever we face it consciously, when it is in the conscious of our mind, sorry, then the meaning, the interaction becomes more meaningful. Okay, but whatever we do in our actions, these questions are always arise in our mind, and we always look for the answers. Now, where do we look for the answers? Okay, say for example, you have one small seed and it germinates into the desired plant. How does it germinate? How does it grow from the seed to a sapling? It is by interacting with nature. It is by interacting with the light, water, the soil. Only whatever the soil is able to give this seed, whatever the light is able to give this seed, whatever the air is able to give this seed, and if the seed accepts, only then it can inculcate into itself the qualities and grow. Otherwise, the seed would not have grown. So you see, it is the interaction between the small seed and the elements of nature. It's inculcating whatever is given to it, however it is given to it, for it to grow into a matured product. So it is this interaction. Interaction with what? Interaction with nature. So again, we need to understand nature. This is one of the other reasons why we need to understand nature. Okay. Next, when we are able to understand nature, I think my internet connection is a bit unstable. So anyway, I hope whenever you are not able to see the slide or hear, please let me know. Okay. So whenever we are able to exchange these qualities with the source, only then we can grow, and this is what proves our maturity. We can mature only if we are able to accept the changes. So here is a small saying that becoming mature means learning to accept what you cannot change, facing unresolved sorrows, and learning to love life as it really happens, not as you would have wanted it to happen. You see? So, this is what is we are trying to bring in the term harmony. We are trying to establish ourselves in society, in the world, as a part, as an element of this whole universe where we can stay in harmony. We can only exist if we are in the same wavelength as the other elements in nature. So, this is also why we need to understand. Okay. So, nature is a collection of basically 4 orders. First order is the physical order, okay, where you physical order comprises the soil, comprises metal, okay. Then you have the bio order, where we where we have plants and trees. The next higher order is the animal order, where we have the birds and the other animals. And the highest of all orders is the human order, where we have the human beings. Okay. So these are basically the 4 orders of nature. So what do we really understand by order of nature? Order of nature comprise of all the units that we see and understand around us. They aren't independent, but are mutually dependent on each other. So each order, that the orders that I mentioned just now, they depend on each other for their existence. Okay, that is, they cannot be viewed as any single entity or in isolation. If they are in isolation, they basically do not exist. So what are the 4 orders? Once again, one is the material order, which is also named as the padarth avastha. Avastha means the existence. Padartho is the word. So it comprises soil and metal. Then we have the pranic order, the pran avastha, where we have the plants and the trees. Then we have the animal order, which is the jeev avastha, or the animals and the birds. Then we have the highest of the order is the Gyan Avastha, where it comprises of us, the human beings. Okay. Now, the material order is this big landmass of the continents and the water bodies, the atmosphere, the minerals, the fossils, the fuels. All this comprise your material order. What comprises the Pranavastha? That is the land that is covered with all the grass and the shrubs. It's all the plant life. Okay. So this is the next order, or it is a little higher in order than our material order. Then we have the animal order, which comprises the animals and the birds, and or the Jiva Avastha, and they are higher than the plant order. Of course, the Gyan Avastha is the highest of all orders. And we can only be in harmony if these 4 orders interact with themselves, are in constant equilibrium with each other. Okay. So in another diagram here, you can see this, the lowest in the pyramid is the physical order. Then the higher one is the plant order. Then we have the animal order, and then we have the human order. Okay. So this human order interacts with physical order. It interacts with the plant order. It interacts with the animal order. Only then, of course, it does interact with the other elements of the human order, other individuals of the human order, and only then it is in coexistence or in harmony. Similarly, the animal order also interacts with all the higher and the lower orders to exist in harmony. Okay. When is there disharmony? Right? What happens in nature is we try and gain control over nature. Sometimes nature tries to dominate. So there is some imbalance, there is disharmony. Okay, and when we try to control nature, again there is disharmony. So can any of you tell me in recent times when there was such disharmony? It was very much in the news. Can anyone tell me?
Anyone?
Very recently, there was this disharmony in nature. What happened?
Coronavirus. And there was a disharmony in nature, like they were drilling a tunnel, but the land collapsed and many people got trapped, the workers. That is a disharmony, I think.
Yes. Yes, yes. So what happened? What happened? So actually what happened is, from whatever we have discussed so far, what happened is nature existed, right? We had the mountains, we have rivers, everything. Now man needs to utilize or to enjoy the fruits of nature. Very good. But we need to see if by our enjoyment or our facilitating any dreams, are we really disrupting any nature, any natural processes? If we are, then we are already introducing some kind of disharmony. If we realize this, then we can go in a certain direction. If we do not realize this, then what happens is we will continue this disharmonic or this imbalanced attitude, and there is going to be disaster. Right? So this is exactly, okay, this is a very good example that you have given. So this mountain was there. They were trying to build a tunnel through it so that there was easy access to religious places, but they were not taking into consideration the type of rock or whether it was really feasible to bore through and go to the other side of the mountain, or there was some other passage which could have been a longer route to reach this in that was destined. Okay, so this is what created disharmony. Okay, what about the building of dams? The rivers flow in their according to natural processes. Wherever there is slope, wherever there is the source of water, so rivers flow. Fine. So why do we build dams? Are we trying to create something that is disharmonic? What do you think? So if you say that it is disharmonic, then we should not be building dams. If we do not build dams, then will we gain anything or lose anything, or can we have a discussion on this? What is the use of building dams?
Madam, dams are
In bringing
created
about
for the
harmony.
production of hydel power, actually. But in doing so, we restrict the flow of the water from the
Yes, that
land to.
means we need, right. So we need to store water for use of whatever, for generating electricity or for irrigating our land, whatever. So we need some water. For that purpose, we have built the dams. Now, do dams create any problem?
Yes, definitely aquatic life gets affected.
Aquatic
Sometimes
life will get affected
like in the
to some
Gangetic
extent.
dolphin.
Any
The
other?
Gangetic dolphin, yes. And the second thing is that sometimes
Yes.
it causes erosion. And when the dam breaks actually at times and being unable to control the water pressure, then it can cause a lot of loss of human lives and infrastructure.
No, yes. So if there is a lot of water accumulating, and obviously the building of the dam, the construction is not able to support it, so it will break down and there will be flood and there will be disaster. Right? Right. So what do we conclude? We should not build dams. Is that what we conclude? Or what do we do? So do we need to build dams or we should not build dams?
Madam, I think dams should be
Since these
built,
are
but
some of the negative outcomes. Yes.
dams should be built, but to a limited extent, not
Yes.
uncontrolled way.
Yes. What we need to do is there should be a very intense monitoring of the system. So the dam is built for a certain purpose to generate hydroelectric power. Very good. If we understand nature, then we must know if there is going to be a lot of precipitation that has been forecast, we need to release some of the already accumulated water. Otherwise, the pressure on the dam will be more and there's going to be disaster. So there need to be minute to minute, second to second interaction with nature and with what we are trying to do. Okay. So if there is the forecast of heavy shower, of monsoons, that means it's going to bring in a lot of water. So what do I have to do? I have to monitor the water content, water level in the dam. I have to release it little by little so that it does not affect the life in the surroundings. It does not bring disaster to the people in the surroundings. It does not cause flood, right? So again, see, even if we need to enjoy nature, even if we have to build something for to serve our purpose, for the fulfillment of some of the aspirations, we need to interact with nature. We need to know when and how much we should proceed, when we should stop, when we should limit our resources, and how much we should use, right? So again, whatever we do, we need this minute-to-minute interaction with nature. Okay. So if we try to control nature and nature without thinking about the disharmony, then there is going to be disaster. Similarly, when does nature dominate us? When do we think that nature has dominated us? If there is a flood, we say nature has dominated us. If there is drought, we say nature has dominated us. But are we responsible in any way in bringing about this drought, in bringing about this famine, this flood? Yes, we are. This is why, as we just discussed the issue of dam, since we were not interacting with nature and deciding on our next move, whether we should release the water or whether we should keep the water for some more time, this interaction was missing. This foresightedness was missing. This is why disharmony resulted, right? Can you give me an example of harmony in your day-to-day university life, in your classroom, and the disharmony if that particular interaction did not exist? Can any of you give me any example? Or in our, maybe not in our classroom, in our day-to-day life, say.
Last, in conclusion, cybersecurity and
Yes.
online privacy are integral aspects of
Pardon? Once again, say.
are integral.
Bolo, please loudly. What do you want to say? Speak on.
If you want, you can also say it in Bengali. If you think
No,
you can
Bengali
express
language.
yourself,
Yeah.
you can.
Any language you can speak.
Any one of you? Any example in your day-to-day life where if it was not in harmony, there would have been some disaster? Say, for example, some of you stay in hostels or as paying guests, some of you in home, right? So, to start your day or to go about with your work throughout the day, you need a breakfast. Okay. Supposing at home, maybe your mother or somebody who is taking care of you. In the hostel, your food supplier, or in the paying guest, your host over there, does not supply you with that particular breakfast. And there is no information that that particular meal is not going to be supplied to you. So what is going to happen? There is going to be some discontent. You may shout, scream, why, you may question, but then ultimately you don't get it. So you are not able to start your day as other days. You are not able to start your work. So then again, there is going to be disruption. You will need to come to the university. You need to attend classes. Maybe you will get late because you have to provide yourself with some food somewhere else. You have to make some other arrangement. So you'll get late. And all this will start creating the problems that you will face throughout the day. Unless and until you are able to train yourself to bring back the balance, right? So this is what will cause the disharmony. So once a set routine may get disrupted if without any prior information, there is some kind of a disruption, right? So it will cause disharmony, right? Now, can you give me one other example?
Ma'am, in a day when I'm going to my college for start a practical class, and that time if I got the equipment is not working properly, so is it a disharmony, right?
Yes, that will also cause disharmony. So what can we do for that?
So in that time, if I am not getting the equipment is properly working, and it is
So
not
that you
possible
will not
to.
be able to complete that particular experiment. So
Yes, yes, ma'am.
either you wait till that equipment is rectified and you go to some other source where another equipment is available so that you can then complete your experiment, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what you do, you are again interacting so that you bring in some harmony, right? So what are you doing? You are trying to bring a stabilization in the process.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you are trying to
So
bring in some kind of equilibrium so that this disharmony is eradicated, is moved aside, and harmony exists, right? So this is also another way of looking at it.
yes, ma'am. If there is available on another same machine, so I can work with
Yes,
that machine, another
exactly.
machine. So is it? It is called harmony, right?
Yes, of course. You are trying to solve the problem.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
So what are the present day problems that largely occur due to lack of our understanding? These problems, you can put it as something that brings about disharmony. Okay. So what are these present day problems? One is that the product that we try to generate through our various interactions, it does not return to the cycle. What is that cycle? That is the cycle of renewable energy. Say, for example, the four orders that we just talked about, that is the material, the plant life, animal life, and you have the human beings. If there is some kind of disruption in this and the whole cycle is not maintained, then there is going to be some problem created or some disharmony. If you think of the water cycle, okay, so water cycle we have all learned in school. What is this water cycle? You have, if you start anywhere, if you say you start with the clouds, so you have the clouds that precipitates, brings in water, it falls on the earth's surface, it makes the rivers to flow, there is evaporation, it goes again up into the atmosphere, forming the clouds. So a cycle is maintained here. Now, supposing this evaporation was stopped, it's just an imagination. You just imagine that this evaporation is stopped somehow. So what is going to happen? After some time, the clouds will have nothing to precipitate. So all whatever water was there is there on the land surface, and it is not going to evaporate. I don't know how. It's just an imaginary perception. What is going to happen? With time, there will be loss of life, isn't it? Similarly, can you give me any other cycle of events that go round so that there are some questions in this chat, is it? Oh no, they're giving in their names. Okay. Okay. Can you give me another example of something that is recycled, and if it is not recycled, then there's going to be disaster, some form of disaster. Another one is, say, the use of plastics, right? If it is not cycled or recycled, then what is going to happen? We are going to get dump yards full of plastic. What's going to happen to that? It is going to clog all the soil pores. There will be waterlogging. Not only that, lower layers of the soil will go dry. Plants won't survive. So I'm talking of the extreme cases, right? Plants won't survive. If plants don't survive, the other life forms which depend on plants will in no time be wiped off. And we, the higher animals who depend on both animals and plants, will in some time be wiped off. It's, of course, to you now, it is a huge assumption, and you may just say, how can it just happen? But if you think, this is what may happen if things are not recycled, right? Okay. Next, what is the participation of human beings in the whole cycle of nature? What can we do? What we can do is, we can preserve or help in the preservation or the protection of all the lower orders. We can enrich all the orders, and we can make the right utilization of it. This is what we discussed. How can we make the right utilization? We talked about the dam, we talked about flood, etc. Okay. And what will be the outcome? The outcome will be prosperity. There will be fulfillment in all the orders, not only in the human needs, but in all the orders. Okay. So to sum up, the physical order, we know that's the soil, metal, etc. Then we have the bio order with the trees and plants. Then we have the animal order, and we have the human order. So there is always a relationship of the mutual fulfillment or bringing about harmony in all the orders, so that the universe exists as in equilibrium. Okay. So you have anything to ask?
Is there any question from you?
Ma'am, here is a relationship of mutual fulfillment. What is this? Please explain it.
Which?
By
Oh,
relationship
this,
between mutual.
relationship of mutual fulfillment. That is, say, the human beings. So all the orders, if say, okay, just forget about this sentence. You tell me, if you don't plant trees, there are trees in the forest which grow. Yes, on their own, the seeds form, the flowers form, there are seeds. These seeds fall on the ground, new plants grow. Okay. Now, what about the plants that grow? Is it that the whole world is filled with this plant life?
No, ma'am.
If there was no
Okay.
higher order, say, if there was no animal life, so there is another order which depends on this plant, right?
Okay. These four
Right.
orders are
Again,
connected.
This plant
I
now these animal life, they also help in propagating the growth of plants. So they help each other in survival. Same thing if you take any two other orders. For example, if you take the human order and the animal order, human will like I have told you here, they will preserve, they protect, they will enrich
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
that order to a certain extent.
Your voice is breaking, ma'am.
And not to the extent, maybe it's your internet connection. You have the human order and you have the animal order. Okay. So human order will preserve, protect the animal order. It will enrich the animal order. It will also utilize it, but to a certain extent. Not that it will keep on using to bring in disequilibrium and eradicate all animal order. That is not. Then there is not going to be any equilibrium. There is not going to be any survival. Right? Similarly, animal order also, just like it serves human order in the form of protection serves the animal order. So all these orders are mutually they benefit one another. That's what is meant.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. And what is our mission? Our mission is to build a future in which humans live in harmony with nature. And right, you have anything to ask? Sir, if please comment.
Okay.
And ask
Madam has explained
whatever.
all things you know already. She has given the synopsis at the beginning. That is the harmony with nature. So, what are the mutual harmony? He said with nature. How can you? Four orders she had mentioned. So many things. She has another class she will be taking later on. But today, the very interesting topics she has explained. So if you, I think it is someone has raised some question, add something, it is a good one. We have been some encouraged that someone is listening or at least they're interacting. So next, so Madam today she has completed her presentation. Now I request to anyone, please, if you have any question or add something or elaborate something, you speak something. Okay? Anyone?
Sir, may I get this presentation which is already ma'am is showing in our classes till now? So may I get this presentation in PDF form or any other?
What else, please? Please repeat.
I
Yes,
want to
this
get
presentation, I can forward this presentation to you.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question? Hello? Anyone? Otherwise, we'll end it up today. And so every day, please, it is my observation that most of the students are wanting the PPT that the speaker is speaking today or presenting today, presenting on that day. So I think she'll be giving that PPT after completion of her next lecture also, next presentation. So today I think it is up to that. And if Madam, no one is
Sir,
asking a question. Okay.
Where will I share the PPT?
Hello? Madam. So
Where
do
will I share the PPT? হ্যাঁ
PPT
PPT কোথায় শেয়ার করব?
ওটা আমাকে করে দিলে আমি এতে দিয়ে দেবো, ওই কি বলে টেলিগ্রাম গ্রুপে দিয়ে দেবো, অথবা আপনি টেলিগ্রাম গ্রুপে দিয়ে দিতে পারেন। ওকে, দ্যাট উইল বেটার।
ওকে
ওকে,
চলে
I'll give it.
ওকে
Okay.
Okay.
I think no one is asking any
So there will
questions.
be some questions on this.
Right. That is it. If you have any question.
No, okay.
Okay. Okay, I think no one is asking any question. So let's end now. Okay. So next class, when she'll be taking, I will inform you in Telegram group.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank
Yes,
you, ma'am.
Okay.
when is the next class, sir?
Next Saturday you have class. It is
Thank
scheduled
you.
out
Thank
Saturday.
you.
So I will inform you after.
Yes, but
getting the-
Saturday we may have US.
Okay. Did you give it to Telegram group or the
Yes.
university group? I will send it. Thank you, madam. So
Thank you, ma'am.
let's end now. Okay.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you, sir. So we
Thank-
can close, leave the meeting.
Okay. That's it.